Before we dive into the speculation, if you're a fan of all things WWE and love breaking down the biggest stories, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you're always in the loop. All right, let's talk about the Hall of Fame. It was the moment nobody saw coming. At WWE WrestlePalooza in Indianapolis, as Stephanie McMahon sat ringside, the iconic gong of The Undertaker echoed through the arena. The American badass rode his motorcycle to the ring, not for a fight, but for an announcement that sent shockwaves through the wrestling world. He looked at his longtime friend and, with everyone watching, asked two simple words, "Are you ready?" The Undertaker then officially announced Stephanie McMahon as the very first inductee into the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2026. The crowd erupted, Stephanie was visibly moved, and just like that, the road to WrestleMania 42 has its first major milestone. With her induction now official, the speculation is running wild. The big question is, who could join her today? We're breaking down the other main event legends who we think are destined to get a ring, including a 16-time world champion whose legendary career is set to conclude. The first inductee, Stephanie McMahon. Let's start with the one name we know for sure, the one that set this whole conversation in motion, Stephanie McMahon. Her induction is both groundbreaking and, when you really look at it, was completely inevitable. For decades, she's been one of the most compelling and essential figures in WWE, both on-screen and behind the scenes. The announcement itself was pure magic. Having The Undertaker, a man Stephanie has known for decades, deliver the news was a perfect full-circle moment. You could see the genuine shock and emotion on her face as she was embraced by Taker and WWE CEO Nick Khan. This wasn't just a storyline. This felt real. But why Stephanie? Let's get one thing straight. This isn't just about her last name. This is about a career that has touched every possible part of the wrestling business. On screen, she was the billion-dollar princess, a villain so effective that she generated a level of heat few could ever hope to match. She was a key player in the Attitude Era, woven into storylines with Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, and of course her future husband, Triple H. People sometimes forget, but she was also a former WWE Women's Champion, holding the title for a good part of the year 2000. She served as the general manager for both Raw and SmackDown, becoming a constant, authoritative presence on TV for years. Her on-screen resume alone is impressive, but it's her work behind the curtain that truly cements her Hall of Fame legacy. She started from the ground up as an account executive, eventually becoming the head writer in 2000, a crucial period of creative success for the company. From there, she rose through the corporate ranks to become Chief Brand Officer, where she was instrumental in shaping WWE's public image and securing massive partnerships. Her work on initiatives like the Women's Evolution helped change the perception and presentation of female superstars forever. She championed hiring and promoting female talent, pushing for them to get main event matches and bigger storylines. Finally, she served as the chairwoman and co-CEO of the entire company, reaching the absolute pinnacle of the business side. Stephanie McMahon has been a performer, writer, manager, executive, and a global ambassador for WWE. She's truly done it all. Announcing her first gives the class of 2026 a cornerstone of institutional importance, a figure representing the bridge between her father's generation and the modern global entertainment juggernaut WWE has become. It's a deserving honor and the perfect way to kick off the new Hall of Fame season. The headliner, John Cena with Stephanie McMahon secured. The class of 2026 needs its headliner. It needs that one undeniable first ballot superstar whose name defines an entire era. And in 2026, there's really only one logical choice. There is only one man whose career is so monumental, whose impact is so profound, that his induction feels less like a matter of if and more a matter of when. That man is John Cena. Headline induction at the WrestleMania 42 ceremony in 2026 is the most fitting tribute imaginable. It's the storybook ending to one of the most storied careers in the history of the business. Where do you even begin with John Cena? For over a decade, he wasn't just his list of accomplishments is just staggering. A 16-time world champion, tying the sacred record of the Nature Boy Ric Flair. a 5-time United States champion, a multi-time tag team champion, a 2-time Royal Rumble winner, and a Money in the Bank winner. The list goes on, but it's about his unbelievable connection with the audience, whether they were cheering him or booing him out of the building. The "Let's Go, Cena Sucks" chants became the soundtrack for a whole generation of WWE. He was the ultimate hero that the younger fans, but whether you loved him or hated him, you respected him. You respected that he never took a night off. You respected his mantra of hustle, loyalty, respect, because you knew he lived it. His work ethic is legendary. For years, he was the first to arrive and the last to leave, all while being the company's biggest media ambassador. And of course, there's his unparalleled work with the Make-A-Wish Foundation. With over 650 wishes granted, he has brought more joy to children in need than any other celebrity in history. That alone is a Hall of Fame legacy. And then there are the matches, the series of matches against Randy Orton, the defining rivalry of their generation. And who could forget his once-in-a-lifetime encounters with The Rock at WrestleMania? Even as Hollywood of the decade, his induction speech will be one of the most anticipated in Hall of Fame history. The thought of John Cena on that stage during WrestleMania 42 weekend, reflecting on his journey, is a guaranteed goosebumps moment. It feels like a certainty. John Cena seems destined to headline the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2026. The apex predator, Randy Orton. You can't tell the story of John Cena's career without telling the story of Randy Orton's. For every peak Cena reached, Orton was right there. It's impossible to imagine a Hall of Fame that celebrates one without honoring the other. That's why the next logical lock for the class of 2026 has to be the apex predator, the Viper, Randy Orton. The idea of Cena and Orton going into the Hall of Fame together is just poetic. Their careers are so intertwined that inducting them in the same class would be the perfect tribute. Orton himself has even said he would want John Cena to induct him, a testament to the respect they forged over hundreds of battles. While Orton might prefer to be inducted after he's fully retired, his career is entering its final chapters. A 2026 induction alongside his greatest rival would be an iconic moment that WWE would be smart to capitalize on. Randy Orton's legacy is one of incredible longevity and constant evolution. He debuted becoming the youngest world heavyweight champion in WWE history at SummerSlam 2004, a record that still stands. From there, he evolved again into the Viper, a cold, calculating predator who heard voices in his head. This was arguably Orton at his most compelling. The feuds with Triple H, the punt kicks, 18-time world champion, a 2-time Royal Rumble winner, and a Grand Slam champion. What's maybe most impressive is how he's reinvented himself, even showing off his comedic timing in RK Bro. His without a doubt, one of the most iconic finishing moves ever. As a third-generation superstar, wrestling is in his blood. Placing him in the Hall of Fame class of 2026 alongside Stephanie McMahon and John Cena would create a main event trio that represents the absolute pinnacle of WWE in the 21st century. Before we get to our next pick, a phenomenal one you might say, I want to hear from you. Who is your number one must-induct pick for the Hall of Fame class of 2026? Drop your names in the comments below. And if you're enjoying this breakdown, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss our future videos. The phenomenal one at Warnshawn. Our next predicted inductee is a man who took a very different path to WWE, but whose impact has been just as significant. He's a global superstar who proved it's never too late to make a phenomenal first impression. I'm talking about the phenomenal AJ Styles. For years, AJ Styles was widely considered the best wrestler outside of WWE. He built a legendary career in promotions like TNA, where he was the franchise player, and in New Japan Pro Wrestling, where he led the Bullet Club and won the IWGP Heavyweight Championship twice. Within his first year, Styles defeated John Cena in a classic feud and captured the WWE Championship, a title he would later hold for an incredible 371 consecutive days. He truly made SmackDown the house that AJ Styles built. Since his debut, he's done it all. He's a 2-time WWE champion, a Grand Slam champion, and has had classic matches with a who's who of modern legends John Cena, Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, and even The Undertaker in the phenomenal Boneyard match. What makes AJ Styles a surefire Hall of Famer is his undeniable world-class in-ring talent. He is simply one of the most gifted, versatile, and breathtaking performers of his generation. His finishing moves, the Styles Clash and the phenomenal forearm, are two of the most spectacular in the game. Now, in his late 40s, Styles has hinted that retirement is on the horizon. Inducting him in 2026 would be a perfect way to honor a truly unique career. He represents a new era of WWE, one where being a top star in other promotions is a badge of honor. AJ broke the mold and proved that pure talent gets you to the top, no matter where you start. The next stop on his world tour has to be... Our next pick isn't just a wrestling icon or a movie star. He's a cultural institution. Stone Cold, Mick Foley, DX are already in. The delay was likely due to his wild Hollywood schedule, but a recent development has changed everything. In early 2024, Dwayne Johnson was appointed to the board of directors of TKO Group Holdings, WWE's parent company. This changes the game. The Rock is no longer just a special attraction. He's part of the company's corporate infrastructure. From a business perspective, inducting The Rock during WrestleMania weekend is a no-brainer. The mainstream media attention would be off the charts. But business aside, let's talk about the career. In a relatively short full-time run, The Rock became arguably the biggest star in the industry. His evolution from the generic Rocky Maivia to the People's Champion is one of the greatest character arcs in wrestling history. He was simply electrifying. His catchphrases are part of pop culture. His rivalry with Stone Cold Steve Austin defined the Attitude Era. He's an 8-time WWE champion who had classic feuds with Triple H, The Undertaker, and Mick Foley. He went to Hollywood and became one of the biggest stars on the planet. His returns have been seismic events. With his new role on the TKO board, that argument is pretty much moot. Imagine a class featuring Stephanie McMahon, John Cena, Randy Orton, and The Rock. That might just be the most star-studded Hall of Fame class ever. The posthumous induction, Bray Wyatt. This next one is tough, but it's an induction that is both necessary and beautiful. It's about honoring a creative visionary whose light went out far too soon. For the class of 2026, it feels like the right time for WWE to honor the life and legacy of Wyndham Rotunda, the man the world knew as Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt's passing in August 2023 sent a shockwave of grief through the entire wrestling community. He was only 36. The outpouring of love from fans and fellow wrestlers was a testament to the impact he made. Many thought he might be inducted sooner, but his father, Mike Rotunda, explained that the family felt it was too soon, that the emotional weight was still too heavy. By 2026, enough time may have passed to allow for a proper celebration of his life, a tribute that can focus on his genius, not just the tragedy. Wyndham Rotunda was a true artist. A third-generation wrestler, he didn't just follow in his family's footsteps, he carved his own, completely unique path. He went back to developmental and re-emerged as Bray Wyatt, the enigmatic cult leader of the Wyatt family. This character was a masterpiece. The lantern, the rocking chair, the cryptic promos. It was unlike anything WWE had seen. He was a storyteller, a world builder. The Wyatt family entrance, with the arena lit by the fireflies of cell phone lights, became one of the most iconic visuals in modern WWE. And then he reinvented himself again, introducing the world to the Firefly Fun House and its terrifying alter ego, The Fiend. The Fiend was a work of genius, a horror movie monster brought to life. It was ambitious, daring, and completely captivating. While he was a multi-time world champion, his legacy isn't defined by titles. It's defined by his creativity and his deep connection with the audience. His final return to WWE in 2022, with a raw, vulnerable promo where he spoke as Wyndham, was one of the most emotionally charged moments in recent memory. His induction will be incredibly emotional. Having his father, Mike, and his brother, Bo Dallas, Uncle Howdy, speak for him would be a powerful moment. It will be a chance for the WWE Universe to light up the arena with fireflies one more time and say thank you to a man who gave so much of himself to his art. Bray Wyatt's time here was short, but his legacy is immortal. He deserves his place among the legends. The women's division pioneer, Victoria, while Stephanie McMahon is being recognized for her work as a builder, every Hall of Fame class needs to honor the trailblazers from inside the squared circle. For years, fans have been calling for one of the most underrated women of her era to get her due. The class of 2026 is the perfect time to right a long-standing wrong and induct Victoria. Lisa Marie Varon, aka Victoria, is one of the most glaring omissions from the WWE Hall of Fame. Look at her peers from that early 2000s era: Trish Stratus, Lita, Ivory, Molly Holly, Jacqueline. They're all in. Victoria was right there with them, not as a side character, but as a top-tier talent who was often the best in-ring performer in the division. She debuted with a psycho gimmick that was genuinely unhinged and a total contrast to the other personalities at the time. Her feud with Trish Stratus was one of the defining women's rivalries of the period, featuring brutal hardcore and street fight matches that pushed the boundaries of what women's wrestling was on TV. She was a two-time WWE Women's Champion, and her skill was undeniable. After leaving WWE, she went to TNA as Tara and had another incredible run, becoming a 5-time TNA Knockouts champion. The fan demand for her induction has grown every year. The question is always, why isn't Victoria in the Hall of Fame? There's no good answer. She has the resume, the respect of her peers, and the love of the fans. With Triple H leading creative, a man who worked with Victoria for years, there's hope this oversight will finally be corrected. The 2026 class needs a female competitor who was both a great character and a legitimate badass. That's Victoria. It's time. The tag team snubs. Demolition. Finally, no Hall of Fame class is complete without a legendary tag team. For decades, one of the most dominant teams in WWE history has been left out, largely due to past issues. But with a new era of leadership, 2026 feels like the year to finally bring the Masters of Disaster into the Hall. Demolition. For fans of the rock and wrestling era, the omission of Axe and Smash is one of the biggest snubs of all time. Debuting in 1987, they were a force of nature. Their face paint, leather and spikes, and powerhouse style made them look like something out of a post-apocalyptic movie. Their dominance was unparalleled. They are 3-time WWF Tag Team Champions, and their first reign lasted an astonishing 478 days, a record that stood for nearly 3 decades until the New Day broke it. They were wildly popular, and their theme music is still instantly recognizable. So why aren't they in? The reasons are complicated, stemming from lawsuits filed against WWE. For a long time, it seemed the relationship was broken beyond repair. However, things have started to change. Under the new leadership of Triple H, communication has reportedly improved. It's even been reported that Axe and Smash have signed WWE Legends contracts. This is often the final piece of the puzzle. It's the olive branch that comes before a Hall of Fame nod, a sign that old issues are being put to rest. The only debate left is whether their third member, Crush, should be inducted with them. Inducting Demolition would be a huge moment for fans of the 80s, and a sign that the new regime is willing to mend old fences to honor history. They were one of the greatest tag teams ever, and their record-breaking reign deserves to be immortalized. What a class this is shaping up to be. It starts with a cornerstone in Stephanie McMahon, whose induction is official. Then you have the potential for a Mount Rushmore-level headliner in John Cena, taking his rightful place immediately after his retirement. You could have his greatest rival, Randy Orton, joining him. You could add a global icon who conquered every promotion in AJ Styles, and finally right some wrongs by inducting the trailblazing Victoria and the dominant Demolition. This has the potential to be a class for the ages, stacked with main eventers, pioneers, and icons. But I have to turn it over to you. Who do you think gets the headline spot? Will it be the storybook ending for John Cena's career? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments.